Comienza esta etapa maravillosa de la Argentina. Es acá, es ahora. ¡Vamos, Argentina!
When Mauricio Macri won the presidency in November of 2015, he promised change. His victory meant the end of the social and protectionist policies of Cristina Kirchner. The new president was pledging a liberal country, open to the world and its investors. Growth, the end of inflation and poverty, a revolution of joy. But 4 years later, the panorama is far from the one he promised. Argentina has sunk into a deep crisis. Poverty has increased by more than 10% and affects 1 of 3 Argentines, 1 of 2 children. In this shantytown located in the heart of Buenos Aires, as in many neighborhoods in the country, hunger is back, and soup kitchens struggle to meet the demand.
People are dying from hunger. They only eat 1 meal a day coming here. If soup kitchens didn't exist, they wouldn't eat at all. I ache for the children especially. Grown-ups can resist, but when a child asks you for food and you don't have any, what do you tell him?
Inflation has risen to over 55% and affects food prices in particular. Here, there's no meat, almost no dairy products, mostly pasta and rice. The government sends lower quality groceries and less quantity, not enough to match the number of new poor.
Some people don't even have that, a plate of food. It makes me so sad because we shouldn't have to go through that in Argentina. Here there are so many possibilities, so many resources. Still, all the country is suffering now.
Argentina is going through its 3rd year of recession and plunge in economic activity. 170,000 jobs have been cut and 23,000 businesses have closed, half of those in the industrial sector. One of them, ATAR, used to make supplies for gas installations.
This plant resisted all the economic crisis this country has gone through in the last 60 years. Sadly, it didn't resist this last one, Macri's crisis, because the collapse in consumption is brutal. People can't even buy a kilo of meat. They're not going to change their water heater.
ITAR's workers have yet to receive any compensation. While waiting for the legal authorization to use the machines and operate as a cooperative, they organize themselves to make a little money.
It's been a while since we saw any pesos, so some of us do barter, others like us sell meat sandwiches on the side of the road or second-hand clothes. We do what we can.
The middle class also has to find ways to adjust to the crisis. Luciano and his daughter were forced to leave their apartment 2 months ago to move in with Elsa, Luciano's mother. Their rent had risen 50% while his salary, which is way above average, increased by only 16%. Gas and power bills soared by almost 3,000% since the government stopped subsidizing them 4 years ago. So in order to make ends meet, he has to cut back on everything.
We lowered our consumption of certain products like meat and dairies. We cut out all cultural activities. We stopped going to the movies and the theater, to children's activities. We have to be careful with everything. For example, we don't go to the regular supermarket anymore. We go to the wholesaler.
The general impoverishment of the middle and lower classes explains the president's defeat in the recent primary elections. It seems almost impossible he can recover from the 17-point gap in this Sunday's presidential elections. But Mauricio Macri, who was accused of not listening to his people's difficulties, is not giving up. The rich of Argentina, the upper classes and wealthy farmers, came out to support him in front of the obelisk. Unable to defend his economic and social results, the strategy is to demonize the opposition.
We don't want to have a dictatorship, clearly. We don't want to be told what to do, what to think, to say or to decide. We don't want Cristina Kirchner anymore. We don't want any of them. They should be in jail.
Most of them are convinced that Mauricio Macri still can win, despite being so far behind in the polls.
I have hope. I'm a true Catholic, so I pray a lot, with fervor. We should have faith, and I'm sure we can reverse this situation.
The next president will inherit a devalued economy and high levels of poverty. They will also inherit a staggering debt taken on this last 4 years from the IMF, amongst others. Paying off that debt will be just one of the challenges ahead.